This video is brought to you by Peage's All Effects Pack. Hey, he is holding my parents hostage unless you click that link. Alrighty crew, so this is what we're going to be making today. Now this is not going to be the fastest way to do this effect, but it's a method that I don't know, I felt like it looked pretty good. One quick thing, I'm going to assume you have a basic understanding of how to use the Fusion page. This might be a little bit more advanced if you're newer to Fusion. So if that is the case for you, do your best to follow along. So what I'm going to do today is we're going to do this. We're going to make this, and at the very end, I'm also going to show you how to save it as a macro so that you never have to create this again, all right? So once we do it once, you're not going to have to do it again. And again, if you're newer to Fusion, this little section down here might be confusing, but the reason why I used a few more nodes than normal is because if you notice how the light moves over our object here, when it gets closer to these edges, it kind of distorts a little bit. So you see how it's lighting up the edges a bit more than the rest of the object. I feel like it just helps add some depth to the effect. So let's go ahead and hop into it. I'm gonna go ahead and move this off to the side just so I can reference it for future use. Don't mind that, it's over there. I'm going to delete that. All right, let's go ahead and start from scratch. Now, the basis of this effect is really this. We could just do this with two nodes. So I'm gonna go ahead and in my Fusion pipeline, I'm gonna hit Control Space to bring up our tool menu, and I'm gonna look for a brightness node. Go ahead and add that. And then while I hold the Shift key, I'm gonna go ahead and insert this into our pipeline right here. And the second thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit Control Space again and add in a rectangle node. And I'm gonna drag it down here to the bottom because I already know how our nodes are gonna be laid out. And I'm going to connect the output of our rectangle node to the blue input of our brightness contrast node. That's the mask input. It's what hides information. Now, when I go over to the brightness contrast node, I'm going to go ahead and increase the gain just a little bit. You could definitely use the brightness node, but the gain affects the brighter areas of the image as opposed to lift, which affects the darker areas. So if I increase the lift, keep an eye on these black outlines. They get lighter opposed to like the blue and purple and red and hued areas of the image. When do that, and I'm gonna increase the gain to, I'm gonna go somewhere a little subtle at first. I'm gonna go like 1.2, 1.25. Let's start at 1.2. Now with the rectangle here, I'm gonna go ahead and change the angle to a nice negative, let's do negative 30 degrees. Now what we're gonna wanna do is we're gonna decrease the width to, this is completely up to you, but we're gonna leave it pretty small. So I might go anywhere to like 0.05, and I'm gonna increase the soft edge. Again, just a smidgen, but I might go, where are we at? Maybe like 0.05, let's start there. Now the trick for this is we want to extend our height to be completely past our image. And if you didn't know, we can actually enter in values bigger than 1 here. So if I wanted to, I could actually enter like 10 for our height. That might make it a little bit too big, so maybe we'll just go with something like 2. 2 is probably a nice happy spot for us. And if I go to the center position here and I drag our rectangle left and right, we have this nice little glimmer. And if you wanted to go back to that brightness node and even just increase the brightness, you can go ahead and do that. If you are having issues with like this light shine right here and you don't want this to appear, just click this pre-divide post-multiply box, boop, and it'll get rid of that. But I know what is coming, so I'm gonna leave this alone as is. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ask you to trust me as we go along through this, so because I'm gonna throw out a few nodes that you might not have used before. First thing that we're gonna do is I'm gonna click up in here, hit Control Space, and add an Edge Detect node. The reason why we're gonna use this is because one of the things that I was hoping to get out of my shine effect was on some of the areas that might be considered like beveled, I wanted those to be a little bit more pronounced than the flatter parts of the image. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take an output from our merge node here. This could be just your media in, whatever the output is from what you're trying to add this effect to. Take that output, split it, and feed it into the Edge Detect node. Now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take the output of this Edge Detect node, connect it, this is kind of tricky, connect it back to the merge one node here, and then bang. What it's gonna do is it's gonna merge it on top of it. So what we've done is we've created this little separate outside loop, right? Where we're applying our edge detect and then merging it on top of the existing information. What we're gonna actually end up doing is we're gonna feed this into a glow so that we add some glow to the edges of our image to create some of those like raised shiny areas. And these are the settings that I found worked best for me, but obviously feel free to change to suit your own needs. For the edge width, I went with a nice 0.1. We're gonna leave the brightness alone, we're gonna leave the gamma alone, and then for the blur, we're gonna change this to 0.15. Now, the next node that I'm gonna use is the Dream Glow 2 node. This is not a standard node inside DaVinci Resolve. It is created by a DaVinci Resolve creator by the name of Scape, who is extremely talented. This node is free. Go follow Scape. They are incredible and they do incredible things. And this is by far probably the best node inside DaVinci Resolve when it comes to glows. You do not have to use this. You could go ahead and use just a soft glow node if you don't want to take the time to go and download the Dream Glow node. But again, Dream Glow 2, the second one, is completely free. You can go and get it right now. Here are the settings that I liked. Again, of course, change to fit your needs. We're going to go ahead and increase the quality all the way to 9. We're going to leave the saturation alone. We're going to leave the spread alone, but we are going to increase the radius to 4. And we're going to decrease the exposure to somewhere around 0.4. There's just 2 more steps for this little section. We're going to take one more output node from our merge one node here, and we're going to feed it into the blue input of our Dream Glow node. Not the gray one, the blue input. We want the mask input of our node. If you're working with the soft glow node, it would be the exact same thing. We want to feed this into the mask input of our glow node. And that's going to get rid of all of the blown out areas outside of our image. And we're getting closer. The last thing that we're going to want to do is with our merge node right here that's connected to our glow and our edge detect, we're just going to drop down the alpha gain value. When we do this, this is actually applying like the add composite mode. It's similar to the screen one, but the add is it's an additive composite mode. And you might be able to figure out where we go next. We're going to take the same rectangle node. I'm just going to bring it over here to clean things up. Take the output, split it, and feed it into the mask input of our merge node. So we hide anything except for what we want to be shiny. And would you look at that? It's looking pretty cool. This is a quick before and after. Doing this little step with the glow, I just feel like adds a lot more depth to the shine. All right. Couple last things, but this is where it might get a little bit more advanced. So again, if you're newer to Fusion, do your best to follow along. All right, first things first, I don't like the way this looks because I don't know. I don't like it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hover over my mouse to where I'm highlighted all 3 inputs here, right? It's right, bang, right there. I'm going to hold down the Alt key, click, and what it's going to do is it's going to create a pipe router node. But now I have this very small node that I can move anywhere, and I could feed anything into it, and it'll go and get fed to these 3 nodes downstream. So the next thing that we're going to do is going to add a little bit of displacement. And what this does is it's going to shift the light around a little bit so that it feels like it's kind of wrapping around the object using this edge detect node. To do this, what we're going to do is I click down here and I'm going to add in a bitmap node. Bitmap nodes turn images into bitmaps or binary values, so 0 to 1, where if I were to take the output of my edge detect node here and feed it into the input of my bitmap node here, and I hit 2 on this node to preview it, we have turned our image into a black and white image where the 0s are all black areas and the 1 is the all white areas. And with this bitmap, what we're going to do is we're going to use it to create our displacement map. Now, as is, we have no definition from our edge detect node, right? So if I were to hit 2 on our edge detect node, we can't see any of the edges that it's created. So I'm going to go back to my bitmap node here, hit 2. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change this alpha drop-down menu to luminance. And what that'll do is it'll look at the luminance values instead of the transparency values. There we go. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clip the high-end values, and what that's going to do is bring up some of these lower values to be a little bit stronger. And I think anywhere between, it was like a 0.4 was kind of a happy point for me with this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on our rectangle node. Oop, down here, clicked on the rectangle node, hit Control Space, and I'm going to add a displace node. But instead of the mask for a displace node, what I'd like is to feed the rectangle output into the yellow input of our displace node because I'd like it to be the background input. Now, what a displace node does is it shifts the information radially or in the Cartesian system in the X and Y direction. What I'm going to do is I'm going to toggle my preview over to our displace node here. Boop. You can see our rectangle. I'm going to feed our bitmap over here into the green input of our displace node because I'd like to use this as our displacing factor. And with our displace node selected, all I'm going to do is I'm going to increase our refraction strength to 1. And this is how our mask is going to be shifted around. So if I were to go and re-preview our media out node, bang. Now I can slide our rectangle back and forth, and you'll notice that it'll begin to preview and highlight some of the edges before the rest of the image. If you do not like the way this looks or how it affects the image, all you need to do is bring down the refraction strength and it'll reduce it back to the original displacement. But I like it. I like it for the look of certain things. Again, this is highly subject to what you're working with and how strong your edges are. And now you could stop here and keyframe the X position of our rectangle, and you would have your shiny effect right there and then. What I'd recommend doing is take this extra step. Drag and select all your nodes, including our pipe router right here. I want you to right click on one of them, go to macro, create macro. And that's gonna pop up this ginormous sucker of holy lots of tools. Now, if you've never used the macro creator before, it might seem like a lot, but all that we're looking at here is every single one of our controls, settings, and inputs for the nodes. So you'll see I have our Dream Glow node right here. If I were to click on it down here, and if I were to expand our controls tab here, which would be the same as our controls tab over here, you'll see that we have controls for the channel, the exposure, radius. So what we're looking at here is the ability to turn on and toggle any setting that we would like to use later. So when we create this macro, what we're doing is we're gonna create a singular node that we can call at any point. And any control that we'd like to change in the future, we're gonna toggle that on here. So first things first, I'm gonna go ahead and rename this to Shine Tool, Shine Effects, whatever you'd like to call it. And I'm really only gonna turn on a couple things, and you'll see why. With our Dream Glow node here, the one setting that I am gonna turn on is our exposure. Feel free to toggle on the radius, whatever you'd like to, but I just want the exposure because I'd like to change the overall brightness of this effect. I'm gonna go ahead and collapse this menu, and I'm gonna go over to our rectangle node right here. And the reason why we're gonna go to our rectangle settings is because I want the ability to access the center property. So if I scroll down on our rectangle, I'm looking for the center property. I'd also actually probably like the soft edge property. You know what? Probably the width, height, and angle of our rectangle. So I've got the rectangle soft edge, center, width, height, angle. That is it. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go up to these three dots up top here. If you don't see those, you might have to go to File, but what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go to Save as Group. Not Save as Group. You're not gonna be in trouble if you use Save as, but we want Save as Group. And that should pull you to your macros folder, wherever that is on your desktop or Mac. And hit Save. Done it right, we can close this. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna delete these nodes. I'm gonna hit Control Space, and if I look for Shine Effects, add that in, hold down Shift, insert into our pipeline, bang. We have our effect right here. If we look over to the right, we have all the settings that we toggled on. So I can go to the exposure and increase that. I can move our rectangle left and right. The reason we say this as a group is because if for some reason you want to change other settings down the road, all you need to do is double click on this, expand it, and we have all of our original nodes right here. So you can go ahead and change any setting that you would like. The last thing that I would probably do for this effect is I go over and I keyframe the center position at the beginning of our composition, go to the end, drag it over to the right. And now if I scrub through, we have our shine effect. Now, before you click off, I highly recommend checking out Peach's All Effects pack. What he's done is incredible. He's taken the power of After Effects and brought it into DaVinci Resolve. It is a massive library of tools, and if you use code WAMPUS at checkout, you'll receive a discount on your purchase.